Welcome to my daily review. You're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, and what a difference a day makes for the index. Yesterday, I think all sectors were up except for the communications, XLC, and today they were all down except for the technology, and the XLE eked out a gain, but most of the sectors are down. A lot of stocks down today, but if you had the tech and the growth stocks like we like to trade, then it was a good day for us. I'd mentioned many times that the Nasdaq had gotten, 8% above its 50 SMA and was due for a little bit of a pullback. I'm still cautious this week. I don't trust this window dressing. It was 6% and then it ran up to 8% there, 8.3% on June 17th. We figured it needed a pullback. And so the last three sessions have pulled back: Thursday, Friday, and on Monday, that inverted hammer candle. And of course, today, you expect it to come back down to the 21, but we're in such a strong uptrend here. It just bounces off the 10 and closes with a hammer candle. So each day is different. You got to be open-minded and flexible in this market. Longer term, I think it's going to go higher, but you got to understand that it's not going to go up every day or every week, and there's going to be pullbacks. The thing is, when you get a pullback, you never know how low it's going to go or how long it's going to last. I mean, it could pull back to the 21 as it did here. It could even pull back to the 50 and things would be, still normal. But this is a really strong power trend. And the Nasdaq responded today. We saw a lot of window dressing in some of those big cap names, and that's kind of what drives this index. As the Dow really took a hit. Dow was up yesterday, and the Nasdaq was down, and we flipped the script today. So we'll see what happens tomorrow on Wednesday. But the Nasdaq today, like I said, was up 221 points, 1.26%. Closed at 17,717, which is, a couple percent below, less than 2% below the high of it, 17,936 made last Thursday when we had that reversal. Is the selling over? I don't know. Is it going to continue to rally and make new highs? I don't know. You just got to play it by ear. Like I say, remain open-minded and flexible. And I think what tells the tale of the tape are the leading stocks, and hopefully you're in a lot of these leading stocks. Sometimes you have to take it on the chin, like NVIDIA and Novo Nordisk are a couple of my leading stocks, and Lilly and CrowdStrike and Elf, and we didn't have a good day or the last few days, but today we had a good day. So you can't win every day, and I don't even try. So I just try to buy the leading stocks and know over time they're going to outperform, unless they slice through moving averages with volume and then they're starting to show cracks. But I don't see anything like that in the market right now. All right, I'm not going to go to the other indexes because the Nasdaq is the one that I'm mostly focused on. The growth stocks that I have on my leading stock list and the ones that I own are mostly trading on the Nasdaq. They're growth stocks. I'm going to start just with the Magnificent Seven because I mentioned the window dressing. And, and window dressing is a thing, it's where portfolio managers may be underweight in some of these names that have had big quarters, and you want to have those names on your book, like Apple and NVDA and Google. And we saw that today in this action here, a little bit of buying in Apple. Just had an inside day today, though. Pull back to the 10. I kind of like this setup, actually. Pull back to the 10 and found support, and retested it on Monday. Actually closed higher on Monday, and today closed above its 10 EMA. So to me, Apple's looking strong. Looks, you can see this setup here, this base on base setup, and Apple looks good to me. But yeah, inside day today, nothing spectacular. This week is, seasonally, usually a pretty weak. The end of the second quarter, and then July is usually a strong month, and I believe in seasonality. But we'll just see how it plays out the rest of this week, the next three sessions here. This is Microsoft. It was up, 0.75% today. Once again, this is one that portfolio managers have to own. I think Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA, you have to own those three large cap tech stocks. That's a good way to get fired, not having those. But then again, if you have them in your portfolio and you're underperforming, like, you didn't own them all quarter, you just owned them now. So that would be a problem too. All right. Microsoft with a strong day today. The one I wanted to point out of these is Google. We had this on our ready list. I liked it above that 178.77. I was surprised when I looked that one out for a little while today, and I saw this thing, trading above 180, which I thought would be great. But man, this thing closed over 184. That's a heck of a day, up nearly 3%. So good move for the Google and Alphabet, whatever you want to call it. And to me, this is still actionable, even though it's above that 178.77, but and probably going to benefit from window dressing, but getting a little extended here above its moving averages. I like buying stocks near their moving averages, trading tight within a base, and this one's 3.2% above the 10. So I'm gonna have to take that one off of our ready list, I believe. A little extended there. Another one I have on the list is Amazon. And this one is setting up in a base. You can see why I like this stock. You could even, you could see this pattern rec picking up that base. You can even go back here to the 188 here and just forming this little box here. The standard paint by numbers would be 190, 170. I'd get in before that. This one looks pretty darn good above 188. So anyway, Amazon up 0.5% today, not bad. With the index up 1.2%, you'd like to see a little better performance there. A tepid move by Amazon. Tesla is one that I don't mention much, but it looks to me like it's carving out the stage one base here after this massive sell-off. After big gains, it's consolidated. Looks like it's trying to form the bottom here. This is a large and liquid company, and it's going to probably take some time for it to trade through that 198.87. I like to see that before getting too interested and have it drive through the 200 SMA. The other one I like is Meta Platforms. I believe we have this on our list at 500. It traded above it. Now it's done this yo-yo up and down, so I don't think it's out of the woods just yet. Paint by numbers has a 514 buy point, which would be a standard, which, that's fine too. Yeah, I mean, and this is getting some window dressing up 2.34%. I just like to get in early. But, and I see why others want to wait and have it, confirm itself above even the 514 and even the 531, make new highs. So there's no overhead supply there. That was a nasty sell-off on their earnings call. And now it's just formed a base. And they report July 24th, which is not that far away. It's going to come up on us quickly here, the next earnings season, the third quarter here. So looking forward to that. And then I believe the last one of these is NVIDIA. This one sold off 3 sessions in a row. I believe it got to about 18% off its highs. But, it just made a measured move here from 96 to 140. A 44% move, then retraced 50% of the move down to 118, which coincided with its 21 SMA. And, I didn't do anything here. I trimmed some on the way up, but I didn't buy this bounce. I didn't add. I just kind of hold what I have. It looks fine to me. I don't expect it to make new highs, but if it just trades sideways above the 21, I'm fine with that. There you can see the 21 today was at 119.99. So good day for NVIDIA. Yeah, the low was 119.32. So almost a perfect match there of a 50% retracement from the move. So this thing's trading technically very textbook. And kind of really like the way this thing's moving. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You have to expect profit taking. First of all, I was surprised by how much it moved. I mean, this is there's a 48% move from the breakout here. From the high from this day was 96.02 up to 140.76 on June 20th. Like I say, the 3-day pullback to the 21. So incredible move and a nice pullback. The shorts, the longs win here. The shorts have their days for a couple of days, and now we get back to reality. NVIDIA is the king of AI. They don't report until August 15th. But anyway, good day for those who hold NVIDIA long. Okay, I've got to, well, okay, I'm going to go through a couple of hardware names. AMD, just to me, it's just forming a base. There's nothing wrong with it. You just got to wait for earnings in July here. It made that high of 221 on March 8th, and it's just forming a base. That's kind of how, AMD rolls. If you look back to past AMD, it just sets up in bases, moves higher, sets up in base, moves higher. Of course, during the bear market, it sold off like everything else, but here you go, your base, move higher, base, move higher. Then it had this big base and had a nice run up until that March 8th. And then was it March 8th or March 9th? March 8th, yeah. A date that will live in infamy. And now it's just forming a base. So NVIDIA, AMD looks fine to me. Micron reports tomorrow. This is going to have an impact on the hardware names like your data storage plays, and I'll get to a couple of them here, but Pure Storage, Western Digital, Seagate, NetApp, they're all going to be affected. I think probably even Dell and Supermicro, depending upon what they have to say. But Micron is a $156 billion market cap. It's not a small company. And if they blow it out, which I think they will, and say positive things going forward, which I think they will, I don't know how this stock will respond, but I believe it'll be a boost for the group, the AI cohort. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what they say after the bell tomorrow. All right. Oh, and I did mention Seagate, so I want to show Seagate. This is one of the stronger ones. It broke out of a base, just pulled back to its 10, finding support here. And, waiting on, new data points from Micron. Like I say, that is going to have an impact on these stocks. And NetApp, this one's at its 10. This is one of the stronger ones in the group. And the other one was the one I like, Pure Storage. Another one is trading below its 21, so it's weaker than the others. And then WDC will be impacted as well. And it's above its 21. Looked like it closed right at its 10 today. So yeah, Micron's going to impact those names. All right, for me today, it was a good day in the market for the growth stocks, so it's going to be a little longer video. I'm going to spread out here in the drug sector because the drugs have not really been performing all that well. You can see this is XPI set up in a base with the index near new highs. This drug ETF is still 10% off of its high. You can see the setting up in a base, and you can see a long time, pretty much the entire Biden administration. They can't go anywhere partly because of the the regulators. They regulate everything, and so it's been really hard on the drug stocks. So this is definitely one to watch, and they're starting to do better. I'm not going to get political. I'm just going to point out some names here. ADMA. I don't know anything about this one. Somebody asked me to look at it. What can you say? It's $11 stock, and it's a micro cap here, 2.5 billion, but it is trading, broke out of a base, now trending along its 10 EMA. So that looks fantastic for a trend trader, right? Talk about buying these breakouts, and breakouts aren't working. Hello. This one looks pretty darn good to me. Halo is another one. Breakout here of the base. No, a move not to be ignored, Dan, and it just pulled back to its 10, found support, now moving higher. That actually looks good. This little tight little base here on Halozyme Therapeutics, and this is a 7 billion market cap stock, but they have, sales and earnings expected to earn, nearly $5 next year. So this is not an expensive stock. Just it's been a tough grind for a lot of these drug and medical stocks. Another one that I like is NTRA. This is one that we had on our serial gapper list here, up 12% in February 29th, the leap year, and May 10th. another 10% move. So a couple moves not to be ignored. Pull back to the 21. This thing is just higher highs, higher lows, and that's what you want in a trend, right? Pull back to the 51 time trend trader's dream. So ride it while you can. Okay, a couple other names that I got to discuss a little bit. Novo Nordisk today, they said they were approved. They're already in China with their diabetic drug, but now they're approved for weight loss. So, China's got 1.4 billion people, and yes, there are some obese too, and some diabetics. So it's a big market, but the reality for Novo Nordisk is this company is just playing the long game, and people think of it as just a weight loss drug. That's not really their entire game at all. They're they just bought a cardiovascular company. Just last weekend, they had positive phase 3 trial for, gosh, help me out here. What's the bleeding disease? Hemophilia. They have a pipeline. Now, this is a company with Novo Holdings with a ton of money. CEO said they're going to be very aggressive in acquisitions. If they can get through Elena Khan and the FDA, but anyway, that's another story. Catalent got approved. So Catalent has 3 manufacturing plants globally, not just in the US. So the Catalent deal was approved. Catalent has a manufacturing, Novo is getting, let me slow down here. Novo also announced yesterday they're spending $4.1 billion to build a manufacturing plant in North Carolina, which will employ more than 1,000 employees. And it's going to gradually be completed starting in 2027 through 2029. So they are playing the long game of manufacturing, not just manufacturing their drugs. They will be manufacturing other companies' drugs. So if a company, say like Viking, it's trying to come to market with their drug, they can't manufacture their drugs. They'll have to pay Novo to manufacture at their plant, mass manufacture. So they're going to be making money off of other companies just manufacturing, of course, their drugs, but other drugs as well. But the big news today, and the gap in the chart here is from the approval from China for their weight loss drug, and that is a big component of their sales, which are accelerating. And some guy gives me a hard time about, they went from 41 to 22 in sales. Well, we'll wait till next quarter or the quarter after. You got to look at the long game with a company like this. Just gradually grinding higher. It's got a ton of shares. This thing's gonna absorb, like a bear market here. You can see what it did in the bear market. This thing didn't crash and burn. It sold off a little bit, but it's just kind of based. And then when the market improved, this thing started its uptrend again. So if we have another downtrend, which I don't think we're going to. We had a bear market in 2020 and a bear market in 2022. Typically, we have a bear market every 3 or 4 or 5 years, and we just had 2 in the last 4 years. So I don't see one coming here. I think the bears are living in a fool's paradise, and I'm extremely bullish. I just want to get through this quarter, and I think the back half of the year is going to be strong and into 2025. But for Novo, they're playing the long game. Great news today, but they're not just a weight loss company. So I know people don't really understand what these guys actually do. And it's real simple to just say, oh, it's the weight loss company, but no, that's not it. You can see big gap. It's an ADR, trades overseas, so it's got a real gappy chart. But today, big gap with volume, closed 64% of its daily range. So a nice day for Novo. And since I mentioned Novo, I have to mention Lilly because they have a even broader catalog than Novo. And they're building manufacturing plants too, because they foresee that, first of all, they have the cash and they foresee the issues going forward with manufacturing. Lilly just had this base. We had this on our ready list, but it's way extended, as you can see here, from a proper buy point. It's 2.7% above the 10 and 5.5% above this 21 EMA, which is the magenta line. So just making higher lows and higher highs, the definition of an uptrend, finding support at its moving average. That's a trend trader's dream. And I got to say, once it broke out of this base, I I gotta say 10% would be a minimum expectations. Let's just call it 800 here. So 10% would be 880, and normally 20%. So you're looking about the 950, 960 area before this one rests, in my opinion. We'll have to wait and see if the market cooperates with these drug stocks. Okay, a couple other drug names that I like, and medical healthcare stocks that are just doing fantastic. Intuitive Surgical, we did have this one on our regular list, and it broke out, and I take them off once they get extended like this, but you can't forget about it. This is a big winner, just a trend trader's dream once again, finding support at the moving averages, making higher lows on its way to higher prices. So if holding a stock like this, you don't have to hold it very long to make money, because as you can see, the higher lows and the higher highs, and today made another higher high. So that's the definition of an uptrend, and you have one in Intuitive Surgical. All right, TMDX is another one. This is a little smaller company. Intuitive is about 150 billion. This is less than 5 billion. And this is prototypical growth stock. It's got the triple digit sales and earnings growth. So as the multiple expands, you would expect the price to trade higher over time. Once again, this stock's making higher lows, kind of in this little Darvis box type of shelf type of action here. Yeah, I would like to see it make a new high above the 150, before getting into it. And I would actually say that that would be an area that I would like to buy this stock with, making new highs here. What is it? 149.10. Yeah, anything above that. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm in TMDX. So that one is looking strong. And then going back to the drug stocks, my multiple sclerosis drug stock. This guy, the CEO, really bugs me, but I got to let it go. It traded above its downtrend line here on Monday, and followed through today with a 4% gain. A lot of shorts in this stock. That kind of worries me because they can kind of control it. It's not a big stock at all. It's got nearly a 3 billion market cap, so not completely tiny, but 139 million shares in the float, and I believe more than 10% are sold short. So yeah, I think about 13 million. So yeah, traded above its downtrend line and looks good. Had volume here on Friday, and yeah, I own it. I bought it, and they have the VA contract, which I believe at some point the CEO is gonna have to implement those into their guidance, and he hasn't done that yet. So there's a lot of upside here. They're getting a lot of conversions from MS patients. They have the best in show drug, and that's why they're being converted. Doctors are converting their patients to this drug because it's helping their patients. So anyway, that's a tough disease, MS, but TG Therapeutics has a drug that's prolonging a healthy lifestyle, that people can get out and be active and energetic and live a normal lifestyle with TG Therapeutics. All right, another one that I like is Lantheus. This is a big winner during the 2022 bear market. You can see here, December of 21 is here, and it just ramped while everything else was selling off. And then as the market did well through 23, it kind of just formed a base and then sold off. And now in 24, it's gathering it's stabilizing and looking a lot better here. Let's take a look at the daily chart here. It's just a little, once again, this little Darvis box here. I like it above that 84.22 level. Nice little shelf area. So Lantheus is looking good as well. Less than a 6 billion market cap stock here, not expensive at all. They've got a lot of sales and earnings growth, expected to earn over $7 here. So yeah, not expensive. Lantheus. INSM, I have no idea what they do. Somebody asked me to look at it. What can you say? A breakout? Breakouts aren't working in this tape. Alert. Anyway, this one broke out. I got to look more into this one. Somebody asked me this afternoon to look at it, and yeah, what can you say? Gosh, a move that will not be ignored, and just trading higher, and can't even get back to its Tinny man, I'm gonna say that's probably a 5 EMA that it's trading along there, huh? Yeah, it's just pulling back to its 5 EMA and riding the 5 the whole way higher. That is a strong stock, my friends. I'm happy if a stock can ride the 10, but man, the 5. Congratulations to whoever owns Insmed. All right, is that enough drugs for you? Okay, I'm gonna move on. Like I said, a little longer video today. I want to spread out with the drugs because I think they're going to be we've seen a lot of rotation. I talked about it yesterday, and of course the AI stocks have done well, but the home builders, the miners, financials, defense, a lot of areas have done well, and I think the drugs turn. It's the drug stocks turn. Anyway, that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Spotify, this one's just consolidating in a base here. You could, another one of these Darvis boxes, but it is trading 331's the high there, but you can see it's making higher lows and higher highs while trading within this base, right? While within this big box, it's trending higher within the base, trading tight near the moving averages as well. You can see this little box here of consolidation. The earnings line heading due north, which we like. Trading tight within a base, which we like. What's not to like here? Maybe you don't like music. I don't know. It's not as tight as it was yesterday. We've had this on our ready list here. Yeah, it was just 0.5% above its 10. Now it's 2.1%, but still trading within a base, tight enough to its moving average and near a standard buy point. So I'm going to leave that one on our ready list as well. That's a software name that I really like, and I think it's kind of like Netflix, where I have a subscription to Netflix and Spotify, and I'm not planning on canceling either one. I think if you like music and if you like watching movies and you're not going to cancel those, I don't know. I just think they're gaining subscribers in both of them and continue to grow longer term. So I like Spotify. CrowdStrike is another one of these software names. Set up in a base, broke out, traded sideways for a few days, while the Nasdaq pulled back. CrowdStrike pulled back 4 days in a row here down to the 10, then found support today and popped $8 or 2.3%. Closed at 87% of its daily range, which is what you like to see. If you're into swing trading, you want to see the stock with momentum trading higher. There you see the close. And this is what I look for in the close. What are they doing towards the end? Well, they're buying it. Okay. So I'm not saying it's going to go up tomorrow, but that's what I like to see. Institutions buying this stock near the close. So CrowdStrike looks pretty good. And I have to mention Palo Alto Networks. I don't have to, but I'm going to. It's just consolidating in a base. It had a couple of earnings reports that were kind of sketchy. But it is acting much better. Traded below its 50, rallied through it. Now it's above all its moving averages, kind of trading tight here. Bounced off the 10 today, but this here looks like indecision. Like, what is Palo Alto worth? Is it 320? Is it 310? And usually I'm going to say, in a strong uptrend like we have now, that will resolve with, higher prices here. And, the moving averages are trending higher, so you would expect it to trend higher until they, have a bad earnings report, but they don't report till September 5th. So Palo Alto looks good to me. CRDO, just a couple more software names here. This one is another one of these moves not to be ignored. It's on my gapper list for this quarter. 27% move. Thank you very much. Ran up to 29.89, pulled back to the 10, found support and bounced 8% today. Very nice. So CRDO, don't know what they do, but I know technically the stock looks pretty darn good. And the last one in this group is CVLT, another one that I don't own, don't know what they do. Software to me is one of the tougher areas. I don't know what these companies do, but I can read a chart and I can see when people are making money on a stock with higher lows of, like 73 and 90, 93 and 105 and now 121. So, higher highs at 96, 102, 113 and 121, higher highs, higher lows, definition of an uptrend. So even a first grader can figure that out. And if you look at the weekly chart, okay, earnings line is heading north, which we like. And yeah, okay. CRDO. Very nice. All right, I gotta go back to the cruise lines. I'm telling you, people are partying on these cruise lines, and the stock shareholders are partying as well. Nice cup-shaped pattern and breakout, then pull back to the 50 for the first time, then just ramping higher. Today made a new high, $160, up 4%. Man, they're partying on these cruise lines. CCL, party like it's 1999. Oh man, I screwed this one up. I should add this on my ready list, but I didn't. Wow. Sorry about that. It was up nearly 9% today. Okay. Well, sometimes you just got to say, yeah, I think I'm going to let it go, and or put it on your watch list and wait for it, to pull back a little bit. Anyway, the Carnival looks good, and Norwegian Cruise Lines, another one that it's running through its 50, right? Traded up through its 50 and then sold off below it. Now the last, what, 5 or 6 sessions here, rallied back through it. Remember the Nasdaq sold off those days of last week and on Monday, and this one has just been trending higher. So another 5% move today. So the cruise lines are cruising higher. So I kind of like those names. All right, I'm going to get to something that I do know something about, beauty. Elf Beauty. And to me, this one is going to, before it trades higher, it's going to give you something like this. This is what it does. And then it blasts higher, then it gives you something like that, right? Then it trades higher, then it gives you something like that. And it trades higher. And now it pulled back to the 10 and bumped today. But I still think it's got one more shakeout down below 200, or, at least to the, I don't know, maybe the 21 here or the 10. I don't know. I just think this one's going to shake folks out. What's the 10's 201.52, and the 21 today was 193. I don't know if it'll come back to 193, but I like the pattern. I like the shape. I like the stock. I like the growth. I like the management team. They are in Canada, Italy, Mexico. They're starting to expand internationally, taking shelf space, US and Target, Walmart, getting into those big box and meeting their consumers where they play, like on Twitch and Roblox. This is a company that's very savvy, kind of a new style. I don't want to sound politically incorrect. It caters to the younger folks, and it's got the lower priced products, which we all can appreciate in this high inflation environment. They did say that they are concerned about more tariffs or higher tariffs from either administration, Trump or Biden, because they're manufacturing plants in China. So if tariffs rise in China, they're going to eat that tariff, which is like a tax for them. They're not going to raise prices and pass it on to the consumer. So that's good to know if you're a consumer. If you're a shareholder, that's something to be concerned about longer term. I think this thing's going to be, like Estee Lauder was. I really do. People call me crazy, but Estee was a monster for what, from 209. Estee was what, $11 stock, and then it topped here in 2021, like a lot of other stocks, at 375. So hello, 372, excuse me. So from $9 to 372, you can do the math there. Can Elf do something like that? Sure. Will it? I don't know, but it certainly could. And so you got to have an open mind to be flexible that, Elf could be the next Estee Lauder, it could be. And sometimes people say, well, it's already been a 10 bagger. How can it go up anymore? Well, those 100 baggers or 200 or 300 baggers start off as 10 baggers. So be mindful of these growth and these new products. So Elf, I like. Short term, watch out for the pullbacks. Abercrombie and Fitch, another one that's taking market share, ran up following earnings, had a move not to be ignored. Now it's pulled back to the 21. So you got your breakout and your pullback. Not doing anything wrong. You would like to see a little more strength, but you see more and more reports of how the consumer is getting a little weaker. Credit cards are ticking up. unemployment's ticking up, so, that has an impact on these retail names. I don't think there's anything wrong with their business. It's just, the kind of the narrative of Wall Street with their looking at the macro data. All right, so I'm gonna move on. I got quite a few of these, retail names, which is Chipotle is one of the stronger retail restaurant names. They, split, I believe, tomorrow, right? It'll be 50 for one. So you do the math, 32.99. So call it 3,300 divided by 50. And if you have your calculator or your iPhone calculator, you could figure that out real quick. And I can even do it as I talk here. If you own Chipotle, what did I say? 3,300 divided by 50, it'll be $66. I guess it opens at 66 tomorrow. So that's gonna change, all their options and everything. I would stay away from them for this week anyway. But it pulled back to a moving average and today bounced to 2.8%. And Chipotle is, definitely a nice business model. And they have more room for growth. CAVA, this is one that I like. I mean, how can you not? Just on the daily chart, the higher lows, the higher highs, definition of a, strong uptrend. Lots to like here with CAVA. Not going to go up every day or every week, but definitely a strong uptrend in CAVA. A couple other retail names I like. I know this is kind of you think, oh man, these guys make coats. Who's buying coats now? But had a move not to be ignored, pull back to the 10, found support. I kind of like this stock on pullbacks. It's getting a little bit away from its 10 here, 2.1%, where a couple days ago it was 1.8%. But yeah, those moving averages are trending higher with the stock. DKS is another one, pull back to its 10 today. So I like them closer to the moving averages. I don't care if it pulled back 2%. I'd prefer it here than here. I'd rather 234 and it's 3.4% above the 10. You buy it there. What happens? Well, it pulls back to the 10. You get shaken out. This is, when you should be selling. That's when you should be buying if you're, a day trader or swing trader. But to me, Dix is still setting up in a base. And of course, had that move not to be ignored on May 29th. Last one in retail, Carvana's retail, they sell cars. This one, I blew this one too. I should have had this on the ready list. I saw it broke above it. It's downtrend line. I didn't put it on the list because kind of cautious this week, but nice move here. 129. This is a short squeeze, by the way. You're seeing shorts have to cover here as it gets near new highs because you can really lose your shirt as a short. So don't get too cute. I don't know why you'd really want to look for shorts in an uptrending market like this. You don't have to be cute. Yeah, NVDA, you made a couple of bucks for a few days, but the trend is higher. So it's a lot easier for me to pick strong stocks in an uptrend. And we're doing a good job of that. If you're at mcstockcharts.com, you should be killing it. MicroStrategy, the crypto names, I just had to point this out because I've been picking on them a little bit lately. It traded below its 50 and then rallied back above today. It was a 9% move today, 123 bucks. So nice move for a MicroStrategy. Hood. Somebody was telling me this is getting window dressing. Could be, I don't know, but it broke out, pulled back to the 21, found support. To me, that's trading technically, much better than MicroStrategy or our friend Coinbase. I'm not going to put this back on the ready list. I'm tired of this name. It's below the 50. Yeah, it moved 4% today, but it's got some work to do for me to get interested in it. All right, I got to be fair. The XLE was up today. Some of the oil and gas stocks have been doing well. I've got to admit it. This is GLNG, an oil and gas transportation stock. Moved up, nearly 9% on March 12th. It's been trending higher, finding support at the 50. The first pullback to the 50 was a gift. Now it's, making new highs. So congrats to the longs at Golar LNG, liquid natural gas. Another one that I kind of like and has been on our ready list before and our leading stock list. And this one just, you can see forming this little, box, a Darvis box consolidation here. I like it now better that it's, rallied back through its 50. So this is Weatherford, WFRD. Looks pretty good. Oil and gas machinery equipment stock, KGS. Another one in the oil and gas field services, consolidating in a base, and I would like this above its 50 simple moving average. And the last one is XPRO. And it just, consolidating in the base, it looks like it broke out, but to me, that thing's just starting to push away from its base here. Could appear on our ready list one day soon. That's XPRO. Anyway, that's it for me. A little longer video today, as I wanted to get into the drug stocks, especially Novo Nordisk, which I think is just a fantastic stock. Breaking out of that 3 weeks tight area and making new highs, and just a fantastic long-term holding. I know quite a few of us have it in our retirement portfolio. Anyway, that was it for me, except for I lied. I have one more thing in honor of the great Steve Jobs. FedEx ramping 15% higher after hours. I did not get a chance to look, at the full details of the report. It looks like they raised forward guidance a little bit, but I believe what's responsible for the move after hours is they talked about selling off portions of their business, so they're exploring selling part of their business. So a combination of earnings and selling part of their business. I don't know which part. I'll have more in the morning at mcstockcharts.com. So check us out there. We never give up, and we've been doing pretty well with our leading stock list. So keep staying in tune to those stocks on the ready list and get them near their moving averages and buy points. And I think your entry will solve a lot of issues. Thank you for watching, and never give up.